Peace and blessings, family. It is yours truly, Amari. I'm the founder of Uwa Pele Movement. Uwa Pele Movement is a ministry where we focus on your spiritual, your physical, and your financial well-being. We're sitting outside right now at the facility where we're going to have our granddaughter's baby shower on tomorrow. We're very excited about that, being grandparents for the third time. This is our granddaughter, our first granddaughter, so man, we're excited about that. Excited, man. But you know, hey, I'm gonna come on here real quick and just talk to you as it relates to you have a right to use your mind. So many people are persecuted because they're free thinkers, and a lot of us get a lot of pushback in that regard from various communities. There's a lot of people that has literally lost their life because of their mindset. And there's a lot of people who has taken people's life because of their mindset. History reveals that to us. For myself, I'm a retired veteran. When I was in Iraq, you had suicide bombers because of the way they think. They really thought that they were doing their God, Allah, a favor. Then you have the crusades. I don't call it holy. To me personally, wasn't nothing holy about it. Again, where people were imposing their views, and then you have colonization again, the mindset going in, bombarding, imposing. And so even today, if you have a specific political view, and let me be very clear that there is mindsets that are toxic. As I aforementioned, when I mentioned the examples of history, those are to me toxic mentalities where it causes chaos in society. Okay, when it affects your social life and when it causes someone to harm someone, whether it's with their mouth or physically, that's a toxic mentality. Okay, I believe in only self-defense. Okay, if somebody is trying to harm me, then of course I'm going to defend myself. Okay, I personally don't believe in going out harming anybody on the premises of someone's ethnicity. That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, I'm not a person that conglomerates people into the same category. Okay, I'm a moral man. I live my life by moral principles. This is the type of standard I live by. And I myself personally, I'm not ashamed or afraid for me to vocalize in a public setting what I view as being right and being wrong. Okay? Now, I'm nobody's judge. All of us judge in some way, shape, or form or fashion. If you say something is right, if you say something is wrong. Peace and blessings to my brother Michael Neal. Thank you, brother, for tuning in, big bro. Appreciate you. If you say something is right, if you say something is wrong, then you're judging. Okay, and it's better to know something in its totality before you come to a conclusion. Yes, that's what prejudice is. Prejudice means to prejudge. So you're judging someone before you know the whole matter. Okay. There's some very controversial things that occurs, like something my queen and I, we had a discussion, and she said, Amar, nobody will look at me and think that I have multiple DNAs in me, likewise myself. And so sometimes you may see a person with somebody that looks African, if you will, and they're with somebody of another ethnic group. And then we may judge and say, well, this person is a sellout, not even knowing that this person actually has multiple DNA, bloodlines in them, from various people, right? And so I found that to be very interesting. She had a very good point. I said, wow. So you know what? I said, you're absolutely right. I said, some of us really don't know really what somebody really is. And so with that being said, we have a right to use our own minds, man. We have a right to think. We have a right to analyze a situation before we speak, before we say, I agree or disagree. You know, you have a right to use your mind. And I highly encourage those of you who are out here to ensure that you sever yourself from anybody who persecutes you simply because you're a thinker. Okay? See, for myself, I'm only going to speak for Amar. Okay? When I speak on a matter, I'm speaking from experience. I'm not speaking from what somebody has told me. I'm speaking from experience. I've learned a long time ago, know the whole matter before you come to a conclusion, and speak what you know, testify to what you both seen and heard. Okay? I'm a person, I fully believe in etymology. I fully believe in linguistics. Okay? And I personally believe in getting behind things before I speak on the matter. So even when I'm speaking in a political sense, okay, I myself personally have studied the Constitution. Okay? I've looked at the amendments. If I'm speaking on a political figure, I've already done my research. I'm not the type of person that goes off of disinformation. Okay? And just because somebody is supposed to be creditable, I'm going to just take everything that they say and not go and research what they have disseminated to me. Okay? Let me tell you something. When I was in the Marine Corps, I'll never forget this. A person gave me some information, right? And I had asked him, I said, well, you know, where did you get this information? Because we got into a debate about it. I said, okay, well, where do you get that information from? Okay? Couldn't even really give me the source. Just said somebody else told them that. Okay? When I went to the orders and directives, I found out that what was told to me had been wrong for years. Okay? Lesson learned. Lesson learned. Again, I was told some information that had been wrong for years, and I kept following that because I did not do what? I did not research. I did not ask the person, what is the source? Okay? So from that situation, I had learned, don't trust someone so much like that, to the point where you just take everything that they say. Right? Okay? And there's some other information I had researched that I had been taught for years. Okay? When I researched that information, same thing happened. It was an error. So what I've learned to do is, and I'm 44 years old. I'm still young. Next year I'll be 45. I just turned 44 in August on the 27th of this year. Virgo, stand up. Virgo's in the building. All right. So what I've learned in my time of being out on my own ever since I was 18 years old. Okay. Now a father, a husband, a grandfather. At this stage in my life, because of all the responsibilities I have, being a mentor, being a CEO of multiple businesses, I cannot afford to put myself in a position where I do not think, because I'm a leader. And I recognize that it's imperative for me to sit down and analyze information. And when I was in the military, it was my responsibility for me to lead my Marines. So I personally wanted to ensure that I taught them the right thing. And I'm so glad that I started researching orders and directives and finding out the information for myself. And then I was able to, in turn, teach my Marines. And I told them the source of where they could go to find that information. I just didn't want to say, okay, I'm your leader, take what I say, and that's just the end of it. No, I wanted my Marines to know for themselves so they can have a reference point, so they in turn can teach the ones that are lesser grades than them, as well as if they need to go back and reference it because of a memory lapse, because it escaped their memory, they can go back and reference it. And also if somebody challenges them, they can show them in black and white where it's at. Okay? So some people have a problem with that. And if you have any leadership that has a problem with you questioning the content that they have shared with you, then I encourage you to withdraw yourself, withdraw your membership, Okay, if you're part of an organization, okay, withdraw yourself, detach yourself from any people that's like that, because they are toxic. Okay, they're manipulative, they're controlling. Okay, and you do not want to attach yourself to individuals like that, because they do not want you to think. I don't care who it is. Okay, I don't care what position in the family they hold. Okay, I don't care what office they hold. If you're a Christian or if you're spiritual, okay, if you're a conscious person, it don't matter. Okay, if they don't want you to think, then that is not the type of people that you want to be associated with, because they have a manipulative and controlling spirit. And that's what's wrong with a lot of people today. A lot of people are being led to the slaughter because they just believe everything that they heard. And a lot of us don't understand, family, that comes from when we were enslaved. Okay, bottom line. Remember, we couldn't read, so guess what? Our ancestors just had to take what they were saying because we couldn't read. Remember that. So when they were taught things, they couldn't read the literature that was being read to them. So somebody could have told them anything that's what that meant, and they would have taken it as face value, because they couldn't confirm or deny whether or not that's what that actually said, that specific verse. You understand? You know, so it's very important for us to start challenging things. Okay, I'm the type of person, and I'm just keep it real with you. Okay, there's a lot going around right now. I'm telling you, this election, there has been a lot of tension in the community from this election. Okay, a lot of tension in this nation, period. Okay, and so, family, what we're experiencing is the immoral character of man. This is something I will continue to teach. I'm big on character. I'm big on living life by morals, because a lot of people overlook that. Okay, some people, they focus more on information. Okay, they focus more on how long you've been doing something. Okay, have you visited these places? Okay, who their teacher is, how big people platform is. You know, people are focusing on the wrong thing. Okay, it's about, is that factual? I don't care who they are. I don't care how long they've been teaching. I don't care how many degrees they had. Okay, let me tell you something. I had a doctor get upset with me. I remember when my son was in my ex's womb. Okay, we was going to get an ultrasound, and there was a picture on the wall, and there's a picture on the wall, and the picture on the wall had an ultrasound, and the picture displayed the sexual organs of a male or female child. Okay, now when they was doing the ultrasound, he had said that my son is a female. I said, no, that's not correct. The doctor and the nurse were very upset. Because why? He has a degree as a doctor. She went to school to be a nurse. But yet, even the picture on the wall that they had in their office that they was working out of, the picture that was displayed had my son's sexual organs on there as a male. Well, obviously I had a son, right? Family, this is the reason why I speak the way I speak. I speak the way I speak because I speak from experience. I speak from knowledge. I speak from wisdom. I speak from understanding. Okay, I've experienced spiritual things. Okay, I know the power of prayer. I know about healing. I know about deliverance. Okay, I know these things are not spookism. I know these things are not a farce. Right? I've done my research on my ancestors and what our ancestors did as it relates to the political views and things of this nature. So this is the reason why I express the way I feel, and a person, they're going to want to go back and forth all day long. You understand what I'm saying? And I've learned, listen, two people that feel like they're right, you're never going to get anywhere. It's a waste of time. So I had gotten to the point in my life where you believe what you believe, I believe what I believe, and that's really just the bottom line. As family, I feel like we do have an accountability to one another in regards to what we say, because what we say and what we do can cause problems. That's just a fact. However, a person does still have a right to think for themselves. And I personally, I must admit, and I'm guilty, I can't lie, I feel like a person, you know what I'm saying, is not very wise of a person to refrain from not being involved in the political arena at all. I personally feel like that's not very wise to do that. Okay? Because when things happen and it begins to affect society because you're not engaged in the political knowledge and you're not savvy to what's happening, now you're caught off guard because you don't keep yourself up to date on your current events. Okay? And so, if you're wondering why people continue to keep getting off when something happens, okay, then you have to question, okay, who's in charge? Okay, but then you're not going to know who to go to if you don't understand the political offices. So, a lot of times, I've heard so many people in the so-called conscious arena talk like this. You know what I'm saying? And I sit down and I say to myself, how are you going to know who to go to if you don't know who to go to if somebody gets off on a murder? Who's your district attorney? Okay, if a cop murders somebody, who the sheriff? Who the chief of police? If things are not going right in the city, things are not being fixed, the parks and stuff are ran down, the facilities and everything are ran down in the community, okay, who's your commissioner? Who is it? Who's your mayor? Who's your governor? If a senator not doing their job, who do you talk to? Who do you go to? So I personally feel like you need to have balance in your life. It is not enough to just be educated about who your ancestors were and who your ancestors are, rather. You know, what your ethnicity is, what's your spirituality, economics, okay? We need to be well-rounded people. And if we don't understand these things, we're going to keep standing and marching in the same place, and there will be no progress because it's beyond cooperative economics. There's people that have mental issues. We don't understand that. There's people that's not educated that understand economics, investing. Okay, there's people who have been wounded mentally. Okay, people who's been wounded physically that has caused their mental damage. Some people may not have been touched physically, but you know they still dealing with mental damage because they've been harmed verbally. All these things matter. All of these things matter. It's not just one thing. It's multiple things. Right? And to be frank with you, we need to work on anger management in our community, and we need to learn how to watch our mouths. Let me just keep it real. We really need to learn how to watch our mouths. We really need to learn how to treat each other. Okay? And this is the reason why I say that character is a big thing. Right? Because some of us, we're so focused on, again, us being able to break down the meta netter. So many of us, we're so focused on an African language. Okay, who's our teachers and how many trips you take into Africa and all these things. But what I notice is that a lot of us overlook character. And a lot of us overlook our spiritual grounded side in our life. And a lot of these things get overlooked, and what we have is a bunch of people with a whole bunch of information on a rampage, slaying each other, okay, because of the lack of moral character, okay, having a heart that's light. Okay, and as I say, because we say this in the military, man, we say good initiative, bad judgment. I understand a lot of us, we're trying to help our people, but you know, I'm gonna tell you something, man. We need mature elders, and we need humble elders like my age, who are still considered to be elders because I'm young, but I'm still a father and I'm a grandfather, so I'm still technically an elder, okay, in our community. I'm just not older than the ones that's older than me, like my grandmother, but I'm still an elder. And what I notice is, what my brother say, RJ Mack, he said, I'm working on the way I respond to people myself. That's what's good, bro. You know, take a mature man to admit that. And also, RJ, thank you for tuning in, bro. Appreciate that, man. You know, so this is where I'm at, family. Right now, I'm telling you straight up, if it doesn't cause people to grow, then it has to go. I'ma say it again. If it doesn't cause people to grow, then it has to go. I don't entertain people coming in my comment blocks of that foolishness. I don't even respond. I don't entertain foolish questions. If I tell you a political view and you ask me, you believe that, I'm not even answering you. Just understand, I don't answer foolish questions. If you hear what I said, then I'm not answering a question about do I believe something when I already made the statement about that's what I believe. Okay? So a person did that and I didn't even respond. And I deleted the comment. Okay? It's too much of a contentious spirit. There's too much arguing going on. Okay? It needs to be less arguing and more learning. We argue too much. We talk too much. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what I notice a lot about people. And I can't even front. It's sad to say this, but some people swear they so highly intelligent. And I myself personally have to be humble and hold my tongue about insulting their intelligence. Because anybody knows that you don't know because they've done their research. Right? And so this is the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. It's a lot of people that really don't research. What they do is they go off of what somebody's credibility is, and you know what I'm saying, them being a pillar, oh, they fought for our people, they laid down their life for our people. That is totally irrelevant to the information that they're sharing, family. And some of us get so angry they be ready to fight. And it's ridiculous. Because they want to talk about somebody laying down their life. Oh, he laid down our life for our people. Oh, he did this in the community. What does that have to do with the information that's being taught? You see those two things? They're not in the same category. If I was questioning his fidelity, if I was questioning her fidelity, if I was questioning their commitment, okay, then I can understand a statement like that. But when we're talking about information, somebody laying down their life has nothing to do with content. This is the reason why I say we have to start thinking. Because you can tell a true thinker analyzes the information, and they're going to answer the question, and they're not going to be talking about something other than the question that you put on the table. Okay? And they're not going to be off a subject when the subject matter is at hand. You understand? You know, so what I encourage you to do is just keep being a person that researches, that thinks, studies, do your own research, okay? And I'm to the point, I'm telling you straight up, I don't have no time for foul mouth, high-minded, think they know it all, okay, so-called woke individuals. I'm telling you right now, I'm done with that. Straight up. I'm done with that. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for people who sit down and whine and complain, but they're not studying, okay, to be able to learn anything other than African languages, okay, metanetter, okay, what the ancestors did, okay, but you broke. But everything is the Caucasian person's fault, but you're not taking out the time to learn anything in the financial arena in order to empower yourself and to empower the community economically. But we keep talking about cooperative economics when people have problems managing their money. Hey, Grand Rising, brother. How you doing, brother Carl Tone? Professor Jones in the building. Okay? This is the point where I'm at right now. If it's not building us, I don't have no time for it. I don't have no time for people who call our spirituality spookism. Okay? I don't have no time to be talking to people like that. I don't. If you're not trying to learn, then I don't have no time for you. Me, my wife, and other individuals in my circle who practice African spirituality, we have real supernatural experiences. Okay? We have real supernatural experiences. Okay? One thing we got to learn about our African spirituality, it builds character. Voodoo builds character. Ifa builds character. This is what we must understand. Okay, I walk a higher path. You got to understand your brother. You got to understand me. I'm a former bishop. I'm a man of character. I'm not with this foul mouth stuff. I'm not with this insulting each other intelligence, going back and forth stuff. I don't play that. It's about character. And it shows your maturity level by what you say and what you do. It's not about how much you know. If your life is not transformed and you, African person, have not truly tapped into your true African self. Because we are a spiritual, grounded people. I am telling you what I know. I'm not telling you something I've seen on a YouTube channel. People who I'm connected to, okay, have been born and raised in Africa. I have friends that are bona fide princes that are born into, I'm not talking about us just calling each other king. No, you got to listen. That's just a name of endearment. Okay? That's a name of endearment. I'm talking about, I'm connected to real princes from Africa. Real ones. Okay? And I'm connected to those who are real Babalawoos. Real. That was born and raised in Ifa. Real ones. Not some of these fake ones that's trying to get money out of you, ask you who's your head, who's your feet. Okay, and they inbox you and telling you all these great things they could do, miracles. No, I'm telling you real ones in real life. Okay, people I'm connected to. I'm telling you what I know. This is not boasting. I'm not bragging. This is how I know when people are off. Because when you get the real, you know the fake stuff. Okay? And a lot of African people in America, a lot of us don't have authentic information. A lot of us, honestly, are being raised by Africans who was born in America, who have a westernized African in America mindset. I don't care how many trips you take in Africa. I don't care if you can interpret the metanoia. I don't care how many scholars you know. So what? If your life has not transformed, then you're going through the motions. As a spiritual teacher, as a leader in a community, okay, I'm telling you in love, you got to start focusing on what's important. Get out of this ego tripping about how much you know and how many degrees you have, okay, and who's your teacher, okay. Now you may say, Brother Mar, I thought you just told me. No, what I want you to understand is this. What I'm telling you is, when you connect with people that's truly from the motherland, okay, and you truly interact with them, I am telling you what I know, okay? You see the difference in their conduct. They don't act like us. Even though they're African, like we're African too, but what you got to understand is, family, they was raised in a true, authentic African way. Just like a lot of us don't know what a real susu is, that's why we get involved with those things. Because we don't really know what a true traditional susu is, which originated in Kenya. You understand? So these things that we really call susus, Africans in America, that's not a real susu. It's not a real susu, and the reason why you don't know it's a real susu, just like I did it, because guess what? I had to go do my research. And when I really did my research and I talked to my brother that's from Ghana, okay, and I talked to both my brothers from Ghana, you know, I found out it's something that originated in Kenya, okay, and I talked to my Igbo brother as well. That's the same thing he told me. He said originated in Kenya. And then they told me how it really works. So I'm telling you, just in love, family, that's why I'm telling you, research things, man. Really go behind things. Don't just follow something because it's a fad. Don't just follow something because everybody's saying it, everybody doing it. A lot of us are struggling really to find out who we really are. A lot of us don't really know who we really are. And a lot of us are drifting. A lot of us don't really have true sources that we can go to and that we can actually glean from. Okay, and I just been very fortunate and blessed by the ancestors to connect with people that's authentically from the continent, who was born and raised in their culture, who know their language. You understand? So I'm just in turn coming on here and sharing this with you so that you won't be deceived. So that you will detach yourself from this African in America way of life and truly attach yourself to your indigenous way of life. Because the way we talk, the way we act, it's unbecoming truly of an indigenous African person. It's not really the way we move. It's not. It's not. A lot of us, we talk about empowering the people, but it's really not empowering us. It's really making us weaker because of this inflation of this ego tripping. And the character is off. Some of us, our mouths are so foul, we overlook the elders, and some of the elders' mouths are so foul, it's a shame. And they're supposed to be the ones mentoring us and raising us. I'm telling you, family, this thing goes deep. We are off. We're missing it. Go to your root, go to the origin, man. Get yourself grounded. Get your life centered and balanced. Learn how to manage your anger. Learn how to watch your mouth. Get your heart right. Get your mind right. Humble yourself. Listen. Learn. Some people want to rush in to be Babalawos, man. It takes years and years and years of studying and researching for you to be a Babalawo. Listen, family, before I got ordained, and I'm not a Christian no more, but listen, understand me, man. When I got ordained as a bishop, you know how long I was teaching and preaching? I had been teaching and preaching for like 18 years. Before I got ordained to being a bishop, I had been teaching and preaching for 18 years. And some of us, we learn the African language. We learned a little bit of meta nu. You know what I'm saying? The meta netta, excuse me. You know, we learned that. And then we just jump out here. Now we everybody teacher or something, man. No, sit down somewhere. Be quiet. Learn. Listen. Watch your mouth. Humble yourself. Get your heart, get your mind right. Pray, meditate. Get yourself grounded. Because I'm telling you, man, some of us, we just talk too much. I'm serious. Some of us in our community, social media, these social media platforms, some of us need to sit down somewhere and just be quiet. Stay off. Go get your heart, go get your mind right. Learn. Get in touch with your African spirituality. Pray, meditate, talk to a goon, talk to your ancestors. Okay, depending on who your ancestor is, I can see why you act like that. Depending on who your ancestor is that you call on, that mounted you. That's the reason why, because you probably more likely called on the wrong person. You need to be called on an ancestor that has some character. Some of you, that's why you act so funny, because you done opened up the portal to the wrong ancestor. And some of you think this is a joke. Some of you just go through the motions and you play with this thing. Oh, the ancestors, oh, the ancestor. Do you have an ancestor altar? Do you pour libations to the ancestors? Do you really understand what it is to honor your ancestors? Do you really? Do you really know what it truly is to get in touch with your African culture, your African self? Because if you did, I highly doubt that you would talk the way you talk and act the way you act and treat your brothers and sisters and your elders alike the way that you do. All right. So this is just something I just wanted to share, man. You know, we really got to watch ourselves. We really got to get on the inside. We got to really start looking at what's going on the inside of us and start focusing on what's important, man. And leave all this other foolishness alone, man. Just leave it alone, family. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Let it go, man. It's time to grow up. It's time to go to another level. We got to let all of this childishness, all of this adolescent acting stuff, we got to leave it alone, man. Because a lot of us that, are adults, a lot of us are acting like adolescents, man. Seriously. Real talk. It's time for us to grow up. We've been in this stage too long. I've been seeing this stuff happen for years in the community. We've been going in circles and circles and circles. Okay, and for me, I'm just the type of person, if I see something wrong, I'm going to address it. But I'm going to say it in love, but I'm going to keep it real with you too at the same time. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing for you, man. It's time to grow up. It's time to really get in touch with your spiritual self, and it's time for you to get to the root of things and to get a better understanding of things. Okay? And then I feel like we'll stop beating each other up once we get to that point in our life. You know what I'm saying? Once we start maturing, you know what I'm saying? Don't mean that you don't acknowledge the truth about what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Because as family, we got to tell each other the truth in love. You understand? But at the same time, it has to be resolved, and it has to be resolved in an adult manner. And we got to start coming together and handle things maturely and stop beating our chest. You know what I'm saying? And we got to be grounded and stop acting crazy. We got to get our lives together. All right, it's time to start building moral character in the community. It's time to start building moral character in our community. All right? Okay. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Those who stay tuning in, I appreciate you, man. Love y'all. Thank you for hanging on. All right? You have a blessed one.